The Biden presidency is a disaster. No matter what happens from here forward, Joe Biden sealed his presidency as an unmitigated disaster, a failure. Joe Biden failed America. Americans are good people. We are God-fearing people. We forgive when a mistake is made. We do not, however, forgive when the mistake means we bury our own young sons and daughters. And we certainly will not forgive nor forget that this catastrophic event did not have to happen. We lost 13 service members because Joe Biden is incompetent. We lost 13 beautiful young men and women because Joe Biden wanted a photo op on 9/11. We lost 13 of our finest because Joe Biden was more concerned about politics than planning a safe exit from a godforsaken land being overrun by a bunch of Sharia-chanting terrorists. It was Biden's call to stay the course when the people on the ground in Afghanistan warned him against it. The generals, Milley and Taylor, two incompetent fools really, were too ego-driven to admit the plan was flawed. They're also too weak to step up to the plate and tell their commander-in-chief his plan was going to get Americans killed. Look at these two. The looks on their faces the whole time has been of men knowing they should say something, but choosing to stay quiet. Then, when the stuff hits the fan, they've got the gall to play some acting role of, oh yeah, we got this now. No, you don't. There were 13 caskets delivered to Dover for a dignified transfer yesterday that prove you have no clue what you're doing. So where do we start? The obvious. These backbenchers decided to hand over Bagram Air Force Base to the Taliban and use Kabul Airport instead. That was, simply stated, the dumbest, most costly military decision in history. The loss of life. Plus, the weapons we left behind are insane. We've handed the Taliban over 500,000 guns, 73,000 vehicles, including Humvees, trucks, and SUVs. We also left them a couple hundred aircraft. Now, the Taliban, an international terror organization, has more helicopters than 85% of the countries in the world. That's, of course, thanks to a clown show consisting of Generals Milley, Austin, and Taylor, Secretary of State Blinken, and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, and one commander-in-chief, and I'm using that term loosely, Joe Biden. By the way, they all deserve pink slips. And this defies logic. We gave the Taliban our high-tech biometric capabilities, meaning our technology, with that, they can scan random people's eyes, their pupils, to determine who is an American collaborator and kill them like they're doing right now. There are many reports telling the grim story of Taliban assassins going door to door to door, shooting and hanging people they've identified, thanks to us, as helping America. Remember, with our technology and our information, we hand it over to them. Yesterday, a non-terror linked Afghan family of 9 were killed. No one is quite sure if it was the Taliban or by our own drones. Either way, an innocent family with kids ranging from 2 years old to 10 years old are dead now, eliminated with our weapons. Biden, that's on you too. Folks, I have access to some of the most disturbing video I've ever seen. This week, I've seen executions of Afghan men that rivals the beheading videos I used to be sent during ISIS's first run at being the top terror group in the world. I'm sorry, those pictures are way, way too graphic to show you on television. But trust me, you don't want to see these images. And trust me further, the Taliban is no reformed group of humanitarians. They are cold-blooded murderers. Now look at these animals on the wall there. Can you tell me which one is the Taliban fighter? Well, one is Taliban, one is ISIS, and the third is an Al-Qaeda terrorist. So which one is supposedly the good guy? In fact, are any of them good? The point is, they're all the same. They're all cut from the same cloth. They're all fanatical religious jihadists. They all follow some version of Sharia law. They all hate Western culture. They hate us. In fact, it's proven that these groups intermingle between each other. ISIS was begat out of Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda and the Taliban are ideological brothers. We now know ISIS and Al-Qaeda have been sharing assets in Afghanistan. It's a complete mess, an infestation of cockroaches. Different size cockroaches, sure, but a cockroach is still a cockroach, and they all crawl out from the same creepy nest. Here's Pentagon spokesman Rear Admiral John Kirby admitting the Taliban released thousands of Al-Qaeda and ISIS killers and that these animals are all from the same litter. They literally move from one group to another.
In terms of ISIS-K, how many ISIS-K prisoners were left at Bagram and are believed to have been released from the prison there? And why weren't they removed before the U.S. pulled out to someplace like Gitmo?
Well, I don't know the exact number. Clearly, it's in the thousands.
Thousands. And he went on to say that they're marbleizing. His word, they're marbleizing. You see what I mean? The Kabul prisons held some of the worst, a kind of all-star team for terrorists. Why do you think the Taliban let those terrorists out of prison? Don't you think they did it to gain favor with al-Qaeda and ISIS? Of course they did it for that reason. Think about that for a minute now. The Taliban has our weapons, our technology, and very importantly, our information, and then they set free our prisoners to gain favor with those killers, our sworn enemies. That means they can all unite around a common target, the United States. And that's what they did. Our military boys and girls crammed together at the Kabul airport were target number one. They were sitting ducks, too close to each other. But they knew that. They knew better. That's not the way they do it in military ways. But they were following orders. Orders from the incompetent 2-, 3-, and 4-star idiots in D.C. and one incompetent commander-in-chief. The results? A deadly mess. Yep, it was Joe Biden who facilitated all that because he trusted the Taliban. Is he that stupid, and could they possibly be that dumb as a group? Yes, he is, and yes, they are. We don't need another dignified transfer of our treasured young men and women going forward. Let's hope the sitting president doesn't do this again. Check his watch. Look at that. Check his watch when the dead soldiers' draped caskets are rolling off the airplane. What, Joe? You got something more important to do? Maybe the Taliban or al-Qaeda or ISIS is calling, looking to make another deal with you, Joe. One of you, somebody, some adult in the room, somebody, please, for God's sake, please stop this man from making any more deals on America's behalf. And one last point. Want to know what really ticks me off and really should tick you off too? After seeing the heartbreaking images of caskets being transferred to Dover, I just can't shake this memory from a couple of years ago where Joe Biden had these words for our kids risking their lives for him and America. Called them, you stupid bastards. No, Joe, you're done. And as for this president thing, you suck at this.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.